Hey, everybody, I'm Doug Mark, and I'm here with 5 franchising questions with my guest, Rob Glessner. Rob is the president of Outreach Studios. He's based in St. Louis, Missouri. Rob, how are you? Welcome back.
Hey, Doug. It's good to hear from you, man. Thanks for having me on.
I know you've done a lot of different things, both in franchising and outside of franchising. Can you just tell our audience about Outreach Studios, how you got started, and maybe how you
Sure.
support franchising?
The elevator pitch would be that we're a full service corporate and commercial solutions company. So for video production and marketing and all those things. However, we really specialize in video. So we've done thousands of episodes of TV shows. We've done hundreds and hundreds of commercials, hundreds and hundreds of web videos, many training videos. We got involved in the franchising industry because we actually landed the IFA, the International Franchise Association, as a client several years ago, and it opened my eyes to that world. And in the last couple of years, we've been working with some franchisors, and I thought that we'd be working with more franchisors by now. But what we've really ended up doing is working with a lot of other suppliers. So, like I've been, some of the people that you and I are both friends with, but really in the franchising industry, we follow the IFA everywhere. We just got back from one of their tour stops in Atlanta. We're planning another one in Detroit. We do everything, like everything if you're a member of the IFA and you're listening to this and you get videos in your inbox, those are all from us. So that's how we got into the franchising industry. And now we've just been, by being around it a couple of years, a lot of people seem to really like what we do. And I think we're really easy to work with, which is a rarity in any business. We pretty much roll with the punches and are super easy to work with. And we pride ourselves on that. And pride ourselves on giving the client, just everything that they ask for. And it's really started to grow, and it's also grown in other industries too. But we making all those TV shows over the years, making all those commercials over the years, now it's really uh, a lot of that was studio-based work, and now we still do studio TV shows, but for the most part, we're out and about all over the country making corporate video for the franchising industry and outside the franchising industry, just in the corporate world.
That's awesome to kind of learn more about you guys and what you do. Just out of curiosity, how did you get started in this space? What's the story of Rob?
When I was 18 years old, I decided to go to a trade school after high school because I was not a good student. And I went to a trade school for TV and video production. While I was there, it was a 1 year program. I started interning for the St. Louis Blues hockey team. So from the time I was 18 till the time I was about 36, I worked for the Blues. And I worked for them part time. I mean, it was always as a freelancer, an intern, then a freelancer. But I did so many other jobs there. And along the way, I picked up working for the St. Louis Cardinals as a freelancer, and I picked up when the Rams were in town, I worked for them. There was a point in my life before the company that I own now is a continuation of a company I worked for. But before I worked for them, I had about 30 to 35 W-2s and 1099s a year because I freelanced for everybody.
Yeah.
I made a good living, but it was hectic. And then I was about 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago, I was offered an opportunity to come build studios. I didn't think it was real. I mean, people had talked over the years with me about doing certain things, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're going to spend a couple $1 million to build studios and let me build them? Sure, whatever. I just didn't believe it. And then it was
Right.
real. It happened. And so I was
Well,
able to build studios and operate that business for a long time. And then it became mine. And then after a while. So that's kind of the story of me. I think the crew that I have now is the reason why I'm successful, or even relatively successful, is because I have an amazing crew of people who've been with me forever through all the incarnations of the business. The owner of the business always kind of sets the tone, and I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with, and I only hire people who are pretty easy to get along with and do good work. And
yeah.
I've had a long career in really sports broadcasting, and then corporate in the corporate world, corporate video production world. So that's I don't make movies, I don't venture into anything like that, but pretty much anything that has to do with corporate video or commercials or training videos or even live sports, which we still do a little bit of, we're still get asked to. So that's what we do. That's kind of how it all got started.
Are you still a big hockey fan?
Hockey fan. I have an 8-year-old son who plays hockey. So that being a hockey dad has been an interesting experience. It's been actually the best youth sports experience we've had.
I know
Sure.
you guys do, you do on-site training, on-site filming, you guys do in-studio filming, and I know you guys do training videos.
Yeah.
Look, training videos is an area that I have honestly been preaching for like 15 years. I'm always encouraging our clients to create training videos. I think that there's really an awesome amount of knowledge that gets transferred when you can see what a job is done right. and pause that and rewatch that and really kind of see the visual representation of what it looks like done correctly. And so I'm just wondering, when it comes to kind of doing training videos, can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what kind of options do people have for, as far as, hiring you guys to help them create training videos?
Training videos can be anything you want them to be, but it's really important, not just because it's part of what we do, but I mean, you got to train your frontline workers, especially Gen Z workers now. They will watch a video and they'll
Right.
watch a short video. Are they going to read a manual you give them? No. Are they going to sit down and pay attention during an hour-long seminar? No. But like we just got done shooting in multiple cities, three different cities and we're in post-production on it right now, a training series of videos for our mutual friend Max at Training Systems Design. So his end client, who we made these training videos for, I mean, they're all like Gen Z workers who are working at concession stands or restaurants so we made TikTok style videos, super fast
Oh,
moving. They'd pause, but they'd, have a bunch of like name tag straight, like the video would
yeah.
pause and then a bunch of things would pop up on the screen to hit all of their service standards. And then the video would continue and then it would stop again and hit another service standard, like, asked people for, did an additional upsell or whatever, so we're going through post-production on a bunch of those right now. But that is, I think, the future. Like we've done a ton of training videos in the past for like construction companies, things that are they're a guy standing next to a console being like, this button does this. When you hit it, this is what happens.
Right,
We've
right.
done a lot of that too, and it's fine. I mean, you can make training
You need
videos
those, right?
for, you need them. I mean, and you need training videos are for really, I mean, they're for everybody, but they're kind of made in two different ways. Like the people who are going to watch this video have no clue what they're doing. So you need to explain everything from start to finish. But then you have other training videos where like people kind of know what they're doing. They just need to know how to do it well in this situation. So
Yeah.
everybody knows it's kind of like an instruction manual would be written the same way. An instruction manual are either written for people who know what they're doing and just don't know what that thing is, or they're written for people who have no clue. Training videos are the same way. You just know your audience. But yeah, I think the TikTok style videos that we've been doing now and that was part of Max and his team's, that stuff they cooked up. I think that's going to be a lot of the future because someone will watch a 45-second video and straighten their
Right.
name tag and make sure they stand up straight and make sure they don't have their earbuds in when they start talking to a customer and stuff. But are they going to watch something else, a longer video? No.
A couple of different things you said there that I really took notice of, and one of them is know your audience, and I think that's something that we forget about sometimes when we're charged with creating content. We're like, oh yeah, I'm going to create content. This is what I like. It doesn't matter what you like, right? Because it needs to be for the audience, and if your audience is 16 to 23-year-old people who get off of work and go home and scroll on TikTok and Instagram and things like that, then you absolutely should be delivering it in a way that that they want to absorb video. So I love what you guys did there. You basically surveyed the audience and said, okay, this is a younger group. This is a group who watches short, training videos and short videos. Today, let's create something that's in their wheelhouse already. And so you guys went TikTok style. And I love that because you listen to your audience. And that's what, I think a lot of people forget about sometimes. They create what they want, not what's best for the employees or the audience absorbing it. And so I met you in person at the IFA. We had talked before that, but I've seen you, at shows. And it seems like I'm seeing you at a lot more franchising shows these days. What is it that like attracted you guys to franchising?
Well, I think it fits our skill set. Try to find customers that suit what you do. Like I mentioned before, like I could go out, we've made some full length documentaries and stuff in the past. I could go out and try to shop for that business, but that's not what we do, really. I mean,
Yeah.
so when I found the IFA and then I started, interfacing with all of these different franchisors I was like, man, these people they all need what I do, but and maybe a lot of them are getting it from somebody else, which is great, but some of them aren't getting it from anybody. But it's like what they need fits my skill set and my team's skill set really well. So
Yeah.
I think that's why we're also now going after pretty heavy the association industry, which IFA is an association, but we're kind of doing the same thing in that industry because as I run into more of them, it's like, man, they all need like exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's it. I mean, it was really more of I'm around these people. I'm talking to them all the time anyway. I'm at the conventions. I'm putting up a booth so that I have the ability to sell to them. And it just seems like it's a natural fit for our skill set.
to shift gears entirely out of franchising and get a little bit into your personal life a little bit. It's one of my things that I like to do is kind of just do a little bit of research. And when I was researching Rob, I came across like a number of different pictures where Rob was outside, working, doing like construction type projects down in Belize. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about, the outreach mission and what you guys do down there.
So long before, so for 10 years or so, I think I didn't go during COVID, but yeah, 10 or 11 years, I've been going to either Mexico or Belize to build houses. I donate 1 week of my life to do that, and every year, and it's great. And I've made some lifelong friends doing it. I've made a whole lot of friends in Belize. So I started out by going with my church to Mexico. We built houses on a border town called Reynosa, Mexico. It's right across from McAllen, Texas, and my church has been on there forever, build a couple houses a year. And I went on that and it was great. But just the way my brain works and the way I am, after doing that for about 5 years, and I mean, what a wonderful organization. Everything was great about it, but I was unnecessary. Like those houses would have got built without me. Other people from my church, were there. Plenty of people there, plenty of help. So I sought out a different organization to do some stuff with, and I found an organization in Belize that really, and I'm not a construction guy. I'm
Yeah.
relatively handy, but I can make videos. Like I don't swing a hammer or, have a great, tool collection to take out with me to build stuff. But so I found an organization that was working in Belize, they really needed help on a lot of things with construction and things like that. So worked with them for several years. COVID actually kind of killed that organization. And so then this past year, I went back to Mexico with my church while I'm kind of resetting. But I found another organization in Belize that I think I'm going to work with again. It is, you don't think about the horrors of what happens. Belize isn't that far away. It's in Mexico isn't that far away. But
Right.
we're building houses and building churches in Belize, and it was great. They said the organization was dying off, and so my last trip down there, I really sought out. We did a few construction projects, but I really wanted to search out like the next organization I was going to work for, and so I found one that human trafficking is a huge problem in Belize, like bigger than you'd imagine. I found some organizations that work with women who are rescued from that. I want to try to organize a trip to help one of these organizations that is rescuing women by they're kind of building this compound for them to live, and they're trying to give them like job skills to get them back out into the world. And they need all kinds of things built on that compound. And I'm gonna start working, try to get back to Belize doing that. But for now, at least for this year, I went to Mexico again, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful seeing everybody again. It was wonderful. I mean, 1 week a year, that's what I feel like I'm called to do, and I do it, and I'm grateful that I'm always kept safe.
It's really admirable. I mean, it's awesome that you're donating your time, and anytime we do a volunteer project, of course the end result is great for whoever you're doing that for, but it also kind of helps you inside as well, right? Like
Absolutely.
how you feel after doing one of those events, is really kind of priceless. And I think it re-energizes, reinvigorates, and all of those things. And man, I guess I'd love to see. I wonder if there's a way that we could try to get this massive community that is franchising involved in one of these projects. Overseas. The I in IFA is international. So I feel like if you need some help or you want to get some additional people involved, that's something that I would absolutely love to get involved with, and I would help spearhead with you. So let me
Oh, well,
know.
thank you. Yeah, the organization that I want to start working with, what I really need to do is probably need to go down there one more time this year because it's been over a year since I was down there and see what they've built, see what they got going, and then make a plan for like a trip in 2025. But yes, I will reach out
Yeah.
to you once I get all that figured out because that's what I really need to. I probably need one more time down there with this new organization figuring stuff out before I try to round up a team and money and everything it takes to go down there and do it.
What's something that used to be kind of really scary or hard for you to do, but you faced your fears, you kept doing it, and now you can do it with relative ease?
Sales. So
Yeah.
from a business
Sales.
perspective, it's sales. So I mean, I could think of in my personal life, I guess I could think of something. But when I saw it, when my initial reaction to that question is sales, because I had to do a lot of work to become even a passable salesperson because I'm an operations guy. I'm a
Yeah. Yeah.
coordination guy. I'm a numbers guy. I can run your business and make it successful, but the sales aspect of it was really hard for me. If I've had enough assessments done on me in my life, like professionally, a disc assessment would not tell you that I'd be a good salesperson. However, they would not. But my motivators that are also part of a disc assessment would tell you that I would be a good salesperson. So so my motivations are aligned with being a good salesperson. So that's why but now it's not as bad, but like man, making sales calls like 5, 6 years ago, oh God, I
Yeah.
was horrible at it. And I was bad and I hated, I dreaded it. Now it's, I've kind of overcome all that and we're in business, so I'm doing something right, I guess, with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. You made it through one of the worst periods of all time, I feel like, with COVID, and still in business. I think you're doing well. I think you're getting those sales. Mine
Thanks.
was going to all these work events. It was the networking part. I mean, it was so debilitating for me. I'm
Yes.
personally introverted, even though I appear right extroverted. But like walking into a room, and I feel like when I walk into that room, the record scratches, and like everyone is looking at me, and they're all having these great conversations, and I'm going to be buttoned in. And honestly, my fear is always like, oh, they're going to think I'm like just trying to sell them something, right? And so that was a really hard thing for me to get over, and I'm better at it now because I've done it a bunch of different times. All right, Rob. So you've worked on TV shows, radio shows, commercials. You've done training videos and things like that. With radio shows, TV shows, we're getting views, we're getting ratings, we're getting sort of feedback from those things. With training videos, it's a little bit different, and the audience is different. What is it that you think makes a training video great?
If it actually accomplishes the goal, if it actually trains, if the people respond to it and change their behaviors, or if it's not a change in behavior, if they just adapt the behaviors in the video, then it was a successful video. And it doesn't matter and that's if you shoot them if you hire a company like me to do it, or if you're a really small franchisor, an emerging brand, and you need to shoot your training videos on a cell phone. None of that matters if the people watching it don't change their behaviors or do what you're asking. But if you make any kind of video as high quality or as low quality, but it changes the behavior of your employees, then you've made a successful training video.
It speaks to what we always talk about, which is, what is the learning objective, right? Like, is our objective to, give the customer a better experience? Okay, if so, then I'm going to teach you how to greet the customer and to make eye contact and to make some suggestions of things that you might enhance their order or something like that. So I love that the answer kind of goes back to, what does the video deliver on the objectives you're trying to accomplish? That's awesome. Rob, you made it through the hard part. You made it through 5 franchising questions. So thank you so much.